Hi everyone, today is the 2nd of September 2025. I'm just going to give you an update of my court case and just keeping everything in the moment and live. Okay guys, and welcome to Authentic Ingenuity Entrepreneur. I'm just going to continue with the usual with an introduction. I have to keep my case live, obviously, because my privacy is gone. There's clear evidence that I've been used like a product or for illegal Commonwealth games globally. But yeah, it's a very serious case of serious violent offences of being locked out. So we're basically doing the usual, starting off with an introduction, and then I will go on to what's actually on my heart today. Okay, so we're obviously going to be dealing with unlawful strikes case. Like, I'm contesting everything that has been said about me in regards to the legal system and the years, like over 9 years this case has been pending. So we're dealing with intentional crimes. Okay, we're dealing with global illegal intentional crimes. It is trafficking in persons. So we're looking at 20 years penalty plus. It's just a matter of the person prosecuting to prove the facts, which is easy for me to do because it's my case. Okay, so it's definitely a case of dehumanizing of a human being, and that is what my case can actually prove. As we all know, as an individual, when we're born as a citizen or an individual, everyone has a right to privacy. Everyone has a right to a private life and the right to, have all our legal rights that's applicable to us as a human being. So basically, I'm just dealing with my personal profile, my property, and everything to do with me that is my personal property. However, it's quite clear that people have invaded my privacy breach. I know exactly when it started, how it started, and who's doing it. But over the years, once an individual has been studied intimately by unlawful anything without their consent, it's unlawful. It becomes a human trafficking in persons case where other people are micromanaging and trafficking an individual. But if you're going through what I'm going through, you must expect that it's either a positive or a good thing. Unfortunately, what I've gone through is definitely a evil force, a negative force. It's a sadistic evil force, and that's quite clear in my profile. It's been a downhill intentional crimes by those in public office or whoever's micromanaging. They've just taken the same, turns trafficking a individual without their consent. However, it is the same evil spirit, obviously, spiritually speaking. However, when we're dealing with legal matters as far as integrity and honesty, we're dealing with, obviously, whether the those that actually are serving us or has statutory powers are either they're operating in good faith or bad faith. They can't be both. But how can you determine that is all in the evidence. Okay, so basically it's not hard for me to prove that the opposing allies have all cybercrimed. That's quite clear globally. It's been going on for so long. But at the moment, I'm just going to update everyone with my court case as things happen, because the opposing allies are cheating left, right and centre. They all know my predicament, so they're basically taking advantage of an innocent civilian. So at the same time, I'm learning all the things that they are doing that's actually illegal, locking people out, and see the people aren't trained properly and don't know their jobs. But it is a conspiracy crime. It is people using somebody for a pecuniary advantage, and it is a trafficking ring. So we've got an exploited person, and all these things take place. Criminal nuisance. This is when people are actually walking around acting zombie or you just know that they shouldn't be where they are, but they are using their vehicles. So don't take anything I say lightly. I'm talking from experience because I've had to go through it too. I've witnessed it, and I just know a lot of things because of my experience. And they are using their vehicles like a weapon to actually murder people, but it's all done by organized crimes and also by the misuse of devices. It's so easy to do. So they also can do plots like poison somebody and murder someone, but the whole idea after they've done what they've done to me is the evidence, which means if the evidence is not accurate, people that are liable is these, can easily get away with some pretty serious offences, criminal offences. So all these secret society thing that is happening at the moment, it is happening. It's just people are conditioned and accept things as normal when it's not actually normal, and then they wait, and then when something happens, there's like something's happened and it's not right. But yeah, it is organized crime. It's premeditated. It means that they're already in your space, they're glued to you, and their motive and intent is to steal, to cheat, and be an informant. That, for those that don't know, being an informant is also illegal. So if you find somebody being an informant, breaching your privacy, they can also be charged for breaching your privacy, even if someone paid them to do it, or even if they're doing the government a favor. If you can collect evidence against that person, you can actually take it down through the criminal jurisdiction and have them charged for privacy breaches. So these secret societies they are a law to their own, and they're breaking the law because they think they can get away with it, and it's just a matter of proving your reality being real. But everything that I'm going through, you will go through. So an exploited person, it means their privacy is gone. Okay, I've been used for relationship scams historically. I'm definitely an exploited person. That's quite clear. It means the public and people you don't know have actually used you for a pecuniary advantage. So we got these people now calling themselves agents or hosts or whatever they are, but we don't know who the heck they are because they think that they can freely do what they're doing and not get caught. However, that they're guilty once they know that they could be charged with very serious criminal offences if they leave the crime scene. The problem that I have found is that those helping them are those that allow them to have access, and those in fiduciary duty are helping them, because sometimes their unlawful acts backfire, and so they know that's a serious an offence, so they try and cover up and help each other, and then before you know it, we've got a very serious corrupt system. So that's what I'm subject to. I'm no secret to no one. Heaps of people know they've broken the law. However, I'm determined to get myself out of this, and I'm doing all the right steps to do that. However, it is a lockout situation, and they are intentionally doing that to sabotage, to prolong everything, to impede everything. And in saying that, while there's nobody intervention, the victims are at risk of being murdered either way. That's why to impede somebody is a criminal offence, and somebody's always liable. But the whole idea of what they've done is they don't want anyone the finger to point at a corrupt system or whoever is behind it, with as far as money laundering is concerned. So that's why I've been denouncing things when it comes to relationship scams to do with me and Henry Cavill. I'm still denouncing all that, so I know that you all have to just who's telling the truth. If somebody is lying, but I'm not the type of person to cry wolf. However, the opposing ally wants everyone to believe I'm crying wolf and I'm mentally impaired, but quite obviously I'm not. Okay, so I'm going through the same situation, going back to the protected disclosure in 2010, when it was with Pastor King. So at this point of time, my situation is between me and Henry Cavill, and we're still keeping things private, even though we know our privacy is gone. But the right people are watching, and I know that what I'm doing is working. So I just know that we're both right in the center of God's will for our lives as individuals. But we are dealing with global cybercrime. We're dealing with illegal using a person for a pecuniary advantage to get a foot in the door. We're talking about global money laundering. That's why I was denouncing Natalie Visciso and her imposter Henry Cavill. We're still denouncing that. And obviously it's working, but I'm just to update everybody, nothing has changed. But her alliance is linked to my court case. Her alliance is linked to the government. That's quite clear globally, not just my government. They're color coding each other, and then they all think they're doing each other a favor, but they're actually a criminal alliance, and it is a deadly criminal alliance, because we're talking about money. Okay, we're talking about money, we're talking about reputation, and and we're also talking about people who could go to prison for a very long time for being part of what they're doing. So basically, this new age system, obviously, it is a dehumanizing of a human being. Okay, so they've basically ruined my life. Words cannot actually describe what they've done to me as an individual. However, I am a survivor. I'm healing every day. I'm healing. I have my good days and bad days, frustration, because they are sabotaging everything. They have access to everything. Okay, obviously, with technologies these days, they can do anything with it. So even though as private as I have been, I know that they are secretly reading our texts. They're listening to me in my home. I mean, it's been like this everywhere, and they're listening, and they're watching people's emotions. So the moment they can tell somebody is happy, they know something is up, and they want to know something. So they're moved by people's action. But that is serious. Okay, that is serious. They've done this to me for over 20 years, or since the breaches took place in 2006, and there is no way, I swear to God, I'm going to let anyone get away with it. No way. Okay, and I know that this is what I'm supposed to do, and I will do it until everything is finalized. So, but this, I'm just basically describing the crime scenes and how it happens. But after they study somebody, I am being blocked out. And the whole idea is they want to keep the person on the benefit. Okay, there's no reason for me to go forward, but I haven't been able to. They've just glued me to somebody and taken turns. These people call themselves agencies. Okay, they're just moving through other bodies. So if you watch my other video clips, I've already explained that when it's a corporate body, when they're using internal, moving through the call centers, or they're using their employees, that's what they're doing internally. It is called trafficking in peoples. So there's two types of traffic charges, one for people, trafficking in peoples, and then there's one trafficking in persons. So the body corporates can be charged for those, even though it's a body corporate. Okay, we're dealing with a criminal breach of trust. Okay, so it's an automatic breach of trust when the government or people that we are dealing with, as far as like the police, when they don't do their job. Okay, they're just on a side note, there is no laws that would actually get them out of what they've done to what they've done to me. Okay, because I have not consented to anything, nothing. But it is a breach of trust on its own, which is a breach, meaning when these people are in government, they're under oath. Okay, so they have an obligation to public welfare and their services. But when they start breaching contracts, or a breach of contract could be a law, it's called breach of trust. Okay, the unlawful strikes definitely falls in that category. It's also known as bad faith. Okay, so if you don't build a case to protect yourself, you'll end up losing everything. And like I'm telling you, you'll lose everything, and their intent is to make sure that you don't gain your financial self back, like get yourself back financially. And that's what they're doing to me. But they're not only doing that, they're secretly deviating and stealing. Okay, and I can prove that they did that to me with Unison Dance Crew. Okay, they stole and used my name, and they have every intention to do that again. Okay, so for those that just knowing the basics, but I know that they've got what do you call it? Let me have a look. Somehow I'll just get into the laws now. Okay, just hold on a sec. I just got to find what I'm looking for. Okay, just bear with me. I'm looking for the laws. I just want my man. I'm just trying to find. Okay, I'm just trying to look for. As you guys can see, they've actually deleted a lot of laws. Okay, they've deleted a lot of laws for the purpose to traffic people. Right, this is really serious stuff. Okay, and it's global game, which is even more serious. So you can see they've deleted a lot of laws. It's called repealed, it means deleted, but they have moved a lot of laws around different legislations. It's just a matter of finding them. But in saying that, the interpretation of some of these laws, it's just like it's set out to confuse new people. It's set out to confuse new judges or new lawyers. So unless you are experienced like I am, because I basically know my way around the legislation pretty good, but they have moved everything around. Oh, here it is. Let me see. Okay, we're looking at wounding with intent. Okay. The whole seriousness about what they've done to me. No, that's not the one I'm looking for. I'm just trying to find the law that I want. Okay, what I'm actually looking at the moment, like, we'll just go through wounding with intent, okay? And this here used to be home invasion. So they've kind of like did the legislation away from individuality, but rather to use it where they can use other people, like what they've done to me, to be able to, well, win is, cheat through the court system. Okay, so we're talking about them using animation, like animate or inanimate, using substitute. That's what we're up against. I'm just trying to find, there's something. Okay, we're dealing with wounding with intent. That before they actually deleted it, the actual laws really was all about a human body, a human person, not about. There's something really important I wanted to show you guys, so I can just find it. Okay, with what I'm going through, it is definitely intimate, okay? So it would fall under these offences of wounding with intent. So the intentional recklessness, the intentional negligence, the intentional blockout and lockout, that would come under wounding with intent, like hurting somebody's feeling, causing stress,